So basically, like we'll see today, some basics of Python, and we'll start seeing what is the advantages of Python and why we choose Python. We have other languages, why we choose Python over other languages, and why it is important for data engineering. Okay, so we have Java, we have PHP, we have .NET. There are many languages in the market, but why we choose Python over all the language, that we'll see. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. So basically, if you know what is the basic things of programming, okay, I think everybody knows that, like how a programming works, because everyone is from the BTech background. So like most of the people, I think they are from BTech background, so I think they know what is the architecture of programming. Still, okay, still I'll try to explain it, what is that. So basically, this one is so basically architecture of programming. Like whenever you are writing some program, that means you are giving set of instructions. Okay, whenever you are writing some programming, you are giving set of instructions to the machine. So that machine can understand that, and a machine can understand that instruction and work accordingly. Okay, but the only difference is that, like, you are writing code, you are writing in your code in your language. Okay, like Python you are using, and you are writing your code in your language. And next thing is okay, so you are writing your code, and you are simply in your, basically we are using English language, but machine does not understand any language. Okay, if we have written some different language or different or any kind of language, if you have written, then definitely machine will not understand. Machine will only understand binary thing, okay, or object code. Basically, the data is getting, the code is getting converted to binary, then only machine can understand. So there is a, so to convert that, make it compatible, we are using a translator. Okay. So basically, what we are doing here, we have a Python file, or else we have the set of instructions. Can you please go on mute? Okay. So we have a set of instructions. Okay, which we can say that the set of instructions are nothing but a Python file. Okay, we are giving set of instructions, and these set of instructions are nothing but the coding we are writing. Okay, what whenever we are writing code and we are executing that, okay, first what it is doing, it is simply converting the data, it is simply translating the data into the machine understandable language. And machine understand only binary format. Okay, basically can transform the data, translate the data to binary format, so that machine can understand. And what, based on that instruction you have provided, machine can work on that, and it will give you the output. Okay, that is what the complete architecture of programming. Whatever the programming you are using, this is the basic architecture. Okay, so this is what, like, simply thing is, like, a Python is also working on the same part. Python is simply, we are writing .py file. We have Python means it's a .py file. For if you know the Java, it's a like .java file. If it is some different language, then it is the extension would be the same. Okay, based on the language name, the extension would be almost same. So similarly, here in Python, we are using .py file. Okay, so whatever the code we have written, okay, suppose any kind of code, suppose we have written, so that will be first converted to binary language, binary format. Then machine can understand that binary format, and machine will transform that to user understandable language. Okay, machine basically, it work on that, and again give the result back to the user. Okay, that is how the architecture of the programming works. Okay, so and next we'll talk about what are the types of translators. So, like here I mentioned, like that there is a type of translator we are using. What is translator doing? Translator is simply translating the user instructions, or translating our code to the machine understandable code. Okay, that is the only thing. There is a translator using. So there are many types of translators, but in here we are using Okay, so here you are using interpreters, compilers, and also you can say that hybrid of interpreter and compilers. It's a combination of both, or assembler. Okay, basically assembler we are using in C programming. So, like I'll not go into detail all these things, what is the programming and all, but translators, if you say, mostly Python uses interpreter. So Python is an interpreter language. Just remember this. Python is an interpreter language. Okay, and what interpreter, what compiler? Just try to understand what is interpreter and what is compiler. Okay, so I will talk about what is the difference between interpreter and compiler. So basically interpreter, I'll go to the next slide. So basically interpreter and compiler, okay, I have explained it properly, but I'll try to, make you understand so that you can easily understand what is the difference between interpreter and compiler. So basically compiler means what it does, it simply, suppose you have written one set of code, .py file, okay, that is a notebook or you, whatever you have written the code, and you have written your Python file and you are executing that one. Okay, so what first it is done, it is simply, it whatever, how many lines of code you have written, first translator, the compiler will translate the full data, full code, complete code to the machine understandable language so that machine can understand that, like, yeah, everything is fine. Okay, then after that it simply execute it. So compiler simply translate the data, but it does not execute. Okay, so first what happens, machine first understand what is happening. First machine understand what is the data, what is the instruction, then it execute. That is what the compiler. But interpreter is what it is doing, it is simply reading the line by line code. Like first we have written one line of code. So simply what like the interpreter does, it simply read the first line of code, convert into the machine understandable language, and if it is fine, then it execute that. Then it go to the next line. Then it convert to the translate to the machine understandable language. Then if machine understand everything is fine, then machine execute that. Similarly, it goes on. Whenever there is an error occurs, it will stop there. Okay, it is not like it will execute the full code. It is not like that, it will stop there. But here what happens in compiler, it simply convert the full code to the machine understandable language. Then after that, if there is some error occur, then okay, if there is some error occurs, then it simply, it give you an error. Because this is the one kind of disadvantages of using compiler. Like we cannot say that this is the disadvantages, but we can say that it's the advantage of interpreter. Okay, so the main difference is that here in compiler we are simply compiling the full set of code, full file, and to the binary. Then after that we are executing. But here in interpreter language, it simply convert the each one by line by line. It simply read the data, convert it, and execute it. Then again it come to the second line, read it, execute it. Like that it happens. Okay, so that is what the difference between interpreter and compiler. Okay, so if you see here, like interpreter is simple terms mean running the code line by line. It also means that the instruction is executed without earlier compiling the whole program into the machine language. Python works as an interpreted language. Consider a scenario where you're trying to run a Python code, but unfortunately you have made some mistakes and at the bottom of the code. But you will find that the error generated for obvious reasons. But along with the error, you will find the output of the till the line of the program correct. This is possible because Python is the code. Okay. So another advantages of using interpreted Okay. So another advantages of using Python interpreter is, like, suppose debugging. You know what is debugging? Debugging means, like, if there is some error occur, okay, how will you identify that, what kind of error it is, and what line you are getting error. Okay, so if you are executing the code line by line, then only you can easily get it. Okay, so this is the advantages of using interpreter language. So it can be one Python interview questions, like why interpreter is better than compiler, and why we are calling Python as an interpreter. Okay, so you can either anything can be asked. So you can answer like interpreters basically execute the code line by line, and if there is any error or happens, so you can easily get at what line we are getting the error, and we can easily debug that. Or else other language, what happens, like we have to go We have to check each and every line, and it's a debugging is very difficult. But in Python, debugging is very easy. Okay, even if we got the error, it is not like a whole code will be failed. Till what line, till that line, the code execute, till that the code will execute successfully. And then when we are getting at what line we are getting the error, that there it will, the execution will be stopped. So this is also another advantages of using interpreter. Okay, so here, any doubts here in between interpreter and compiler?
Good evening, sir. I'm Sudipta
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah. Tell me.
Actually, you told that execution stop once error occurs.
Mm-hmm.
So, at what time means in while interpret or while compiler the execution stops? Sir?
Interpreter. Okay, the
While,
execution
while
stops. Yeah, so basically what happens, like if you are reading the, if you are executing it line by line. Okay, so it will simply checking the one line, if it is the fine. Okay, in if the syntactical it is correct, also programmatically it is correct, then it simply execute that. Then it go to the next line and it simply execute it like that. Whenever it will find some error in the syntax or in the data or anything, then it will give you the error. Okay, so but it is not like that, like previous whatever the like executed, whatever the lines are executed, that will fail, but that will execute it successfully. Okay, we can get the error, but wherever we are getting the error in that line, you will be getting that error. Okay, but in other compiler case, what happens, if anything failed means it will not give you the correct record. Okay, like means one line failed means the full record, full Python file or full code will fail. Okay.
sir, another doubt, where we will track the error that you told debugging about.
Mm-hmm.
So, where
So
we will
that
track that?
you can track, basically you will get an error. Okay, from the message itself you can get the error type. Okay, and the Python
Okay.
error type is such a way they have created, so from the name itself you can easily understand. Okay, if you are
Okay, sir.
gradually working, and you can like some type error, name error, and also it will identify at what line you are getting the error. Okay, so that you can directly go to that line and you can rectify that one. So
Okay.
that is the
Okay,
thing.
sir.
You don't have to go anywhere. Wherever you are running, there itself you will see that
There itself it will show the error, sir.
exactly the
Yeah, yeah.
line point. It will show like
Okay.
something. Okay, when I will run it, I think I'll show
Okay.
you.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Fine.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
okay, yeah, no problem. So anything else? Any other doubts? Anyone? Okay, let me go to the next. Okay, so hybrid translator, basically it's a combination of interpreter language compiler. A popular hybrid programming language is Java. Basically, in Java we use hybrid translator. Okay, it first compiles your source code into intermediate format known as bytecode. So basically, I'll not go into detail. So basically, for giving an example, what is hybrid translator? It's a basically combination of compiler and interpreter. But Python is only interpreted language. Okay, so that's fine. Then we can see that this is the basics of like introduction to Python. So I'll just read it out. Okay, I don't want to go into detail. And also, after I think by this end of this week, I'll just share this slide with you so that you can go through this. Okay. So basically, Python is it's a popular language, and it was created by this person Guido von Rossum, and it was released in 1991. Basically, it's used for web development, software development, mathematics. Mathematics in the sense like we are using all kind of mathematical things, like scientific calculations we are doing. Then we are also performing the statistical things. Okay, so many complex statistics we can perform by using Python. So these are the things are being used in Python. So, and system scripting, automation, data analysis, mathematics, everything we are using. Okay, so you might be thinking like, you have, if you are just, BTech students, and you must have used mathematics, like math 1, math 2, math 3 must be there in your syllabus. So you must be using eigenvalues, eigenvectors. Okay. And that is being also used. Basically, that is used in data science. But yeah, those kind of things we can implement by using Python. Basically, you are when you are calculating, from one matrix you are calculating your eigenvalues or eigenvectors. Simply that we can perform also using Python. We have the separate library for that, NumPy, and using that you can easily find out. Okay, so yeah, so I'll not go into detail, but these are the things is possible. Okay, but mostly we'll be discussing about data analysis part and also data engineering part. How can you basically mostly it is used for the data part. Okay, it is not like we cannot use it, you cannot use it for web development. We can do that. Okay, but mostly Python is used for data processing, data ingestion, data analysis, data science, everything. If you are dealing with only data, then Python is the best. Okay, compared to other language, because it has the capability for processing the large scale of data within like we can process it smoothly as well as very fast. That is why we are like most of the companies, they are preferring Python over other languages. Then we have software testing, we have everyday tasks that also we can do. Basically, once you build some software application, we can test it. We have separate library for that, and we can also perform everyday task also using Python. Okay, so what can Python do? Basically, I'll not go into detail. I have just created this one. Why Python is so popular? These are the common things. Okay, I'll talk about this. So basically, what is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3? So basically, Python 2 means it's a Python version 2. Python 3 means it's a Python version 3. Okay. So what is the difference between? This is also one kind of interview questions. Okay, you might get like what is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3? Basically, it's a version difference, but there are many things also got changed. Means many syntax, many ways of writing the code, or many functionalities also added in Python 3. Okay, basically first one is Unicode. Unicode, it's a universal code. Okay, like you can write you can process any languages or any kind of data in Python 3. Basically, Python 3 encode string using Unicode, but Python 2 uses ASCII code. Okay, basically, that is the one advantages, because using Python 2 we cannot process all the Unicode data, but using Python 3 we can do that. Then we have some range functions we are using in Python 3, which is basically, in Python 2 it was X range. So basically it's a difference between two syntax, same functionality, but the syntax is different. In Python 2 we are using X range, basically range function. Like suppose if you have to find out the range from 10, okay, like from 0 to 10, then you can easily get to know what is the range. Then improving performance when iterating over a sequence. Okay, and another thing is like whenever iterating means when you are applying the loop. Okay, you are calling one by one elements of a collection. So that is what we can do. Then exception handling also we can perform in Python 3, where Python 3 exceptions are closed in notations. So basically syntactically it is slightly different. Okay, like in range function, exception handling, integer division also. Okay, then annotations is like when Python 3 supports annotations, Python 2 does not support any annotations. So okay, the feature helps reading and maintaining the code. Then print statement also, the syntax of print statement is different in Python 3 than Python 2. Then syntax is also backward compatibility. Okay, so these are the difference between Python 2 and 3. So you can easily, you can easily pick 2 3 points, and if some interviewer ask you this question, then you can easily answer that. Okay, okay, so now we will see like how to install Python. So if you have a system in your system, then you can easily install the Python. So I'll just try to show you how can we install the Python. Basically what you can do is you can, okay, okay. So basically what you have to do, you have to go to python.org. Okay, This is the official website of Python. So you have to go here and you have to go the downloads. Okay, so basically if you can see, if you go to this Python's website, okay, so you can see that the latest version of Python. Okay, so basically if you'll see here, go about, not about, I think documentation. Mhm. Okay, so basically current version, if you'll try to find out by default, what you can say, if you'll see, yeah, if I'll just hover my cursor on downloads, if you can see download for Windows, and you can see the version, it is 3.13.3. Okay, so it is telling like this is the latest version released by Python. Okay, but the thing is like but I am always not recommending you, like I don't recommend you to install this one, because there are many bugs, there might be many bugs and fixes might be there. So you should always use, always use current version minus 2, basically 3.13. So you can subtract 1.3 minus 2 is 3.11. So basically you can use 3.11 version, because that is mostly, we can say stable version. Okay, so if I'll go to here all releases, and you can directly install it. Okay, but I'll tell you how to install other versions basically. So if you'll see 3.11, basically this is the end of support 2027. Then these are the supports are there. These are the multiple versions are there. Okay, but current version is 3.13. Okay, and maintenance status is still it is bug fix. We are fixing the bug, and 3.14 got released, and that is the plan to release in first of 2000 first October of 2025. Okay, this will be released, but forget about it. So I'll always recommend to install 3.11.8. Okay, this one. If I'll go here, sorry, 1 2, not this one, back. This is 1 2, 3.11 point. Okay, if I'll go to 9 here also, you can see that there are also not thing. It is also there, 3.11.9 also. That is also one thing you can install. Okay, so basically you can go here. Okay, you can go to 3.11.9 or 3.11.8. You can go here and you can click, and you can go here, and you can simply click on Windows installer. Okay, you can click on Windows installer, and then it will install, all the necessary thing. Okay, then you can go to the downloads, and you can see that 3.11.99. Okay, so so simply, like you can install the Python. Okay, simply like you can install the Python, this is the wizard will come. So you, what you can do is you can simply go and install now, you can click on the install now. But before that, what you have to do is you have to click on add path, add python.exe to the path. So that what it will do, it will simply this Python file, it will add into the path, like .pxe file, that will add into this path. Okay, this path it will add, so that you can execute all your Python code from command prompt. Okay, CMD, you can go to CMD and you can execute your code. Okay, but generally it is not recommended to do any kind of or development activities. But you can check, like if from command prompt also you can check whether Python installed in your system, and also you can check the version as well. So basically what you have to do, you have to click on this, and then you can install now, that you have to click. Okay, once you have installed, you can click on here. Okay, and I'm not going to install it because I have already 11.8 in my system. Okay, so if you have installed this one, then it will simply, you have to simply click on the install now, and it will automatically install in your system. Okay, and you have to go to next, and then it will automatically like install in your system. And once you have installed it, then what you have to do is you have to set some environmental variable. Okay, but I think it is not needed, because if you have added python.exe to the path, so you can simply use that one. Okay, you don't have to go there, right? Then what you have to do, if I'll go to the this command prompt, okay, if I'll write Python here, okay, so you can see it's already 3.11.9, okay, it's already there in my system, 3.11.9, okay. So basically this is already installed in my system, so I'll not install a new one, but I'll always recommend you should always install it and you can write your code. If you want to write any of the code, basically Python means we went into this path and we can write it anything, okay. Okay, we can print it hello everyone, right? So once you install it, you can access it from the command prompt and you can execute that, okay. Everyone getting it? How can we install the Python in your system? And always remember, when you are going to install, just install this version 3.11.9. Okay, this you have to install in your system, so that you can, whatever the latest functions, latest inbuilt functions libraries are available in Python, so you can access that. Or else if you are going to install some higher version, recent version, or previous version, basically 3.8, 3.8 or 3.9 will be decommissioned soon, so you will be not able to use that. So you have to, you have to install this part 3.11.9. Okay, and this is something about like command prompt. But Python himself, when you install the Python in your system, Python himself give you one compiler, okay, one IDE we can say, okay, like editor, which where you can run your Python code. Basically its name is idle, okay. Idle, if you see, it's a 3 point, it is showing 3.9. Okay, so this is nothing but idle. And if you'll see here, here also you can write your code. Okay, okay. I have two idle in my system because okay, 3.11 also, this also we can do. Okay, 3.11.9. This is also you can use for for any kind of minor things, minor development also you can do it. Okay, but it is always not recommended to use this one for development. For development purpose, you have to use Jupyter Notebook. Okay, I'll show you how can you install that Jupyter Notebook in your system so that you can implement. But before installing Jupyter Notebook, you need to use this, you need to install Python in your system. Okay. That once you install it, you have to restart your system. Then you can go and you can install Jupyter Notebook. I think it's there, or is there anything I'm missing? So basically, I have added all the steps here. Okay. So basically, you can use installation of Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So basically, you can see Jupyter Notebook. Yeah, so any questions on the Python installation?
Sir, why we install Jupyter Notebook?
Jupyter Notebook is basically one ID, we can say one editor where we can run your Python code. Okay, basically you have to run your code somewhere else, like, but this command prompt, na, this is not that much compatible. Okay, because here you cannot write, because you see the screen, okay, it's very small and you cannot write your code here, right? So like you can write it, but the indentation, the formatting, everything you cannot handle. Okay, so that's why the best IDE we can say that is Jupyter Notebook. Okay, which gives you, much more flexibility. You can implement that, and also for development purpose, this is the best Jupyter Notebook. Okay. There are other IDs as well. If you have heard of VS Code also there, PyCharm is there. Okay, Spider is also there. So you can use that either. That's not an issue. But I will always recommend to use Jupyter Notebook because it has some individual functionalities. Like you don't have to run each and code every time. Once you run, so that it will store into that session, and you can use that variable, and in your session and in your line of code, any line of code you can use that. So you don't have to repeat the code, you don't have to write the same code again and again. But in other system, what happens, every time you have to make some changes, you have to run the full code. Okay, so that is why we are using Jupyter Notebook, and it is a one, we can say it's a tool. Okay, it's a one tool where we can run our Python code. We have to run our Python code, right? But where will it run? By in Jupyter Notebook only. Okay, I think you are getting my point, or still you are in doubt.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Okay.
Sir, why if there is we can run in the Jupyter notebook the
Mm-hmm.
Python program,
Yeah.
why we will use CMD command prompt?
Yeah, that is one kind of a development, like we can access. Basically, I showed you how can you access that in your system. Okay, but this is not recommended. This is one kind of thing I showed you. Okay, this is not
Yes,
needed. I'm not telling you to use this one. Okay, but see, how will you like you installed Python in your system? How will you verify that whether Python is installed properly or not? That you can go on command prompt, you can check it, or else you can go idle also. Okay, here also this is the Python's inbuilt compiler, sorry, interpreter, not compiler. Okay, where we can write all your code. Okay, similar thing you can write also here. So basically to check it. Okay, but always use this one. Okay, or is hello.
okay.
So basically
Yes, sir.
always use Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so I'll tell you how to install that
ଦିଟା
Jupyter Notebook.
ଏନଭାୟରମେଣ୍ଟ ଦେଶବନ୍ଧୁ, ଯେମିତି ଆମେ
Yes,
ଓରାକଲ
sir.
ଇନଷ୍ଟଲ କଲା ପରେ ଆମେ ଏସକ୍ୟୁଏଲ ପ୍ଲସ ରେ ବି କାମ କରିପାରିବା, ଆମେ ଏସକ୍ୟୁଏଲ ଡେଭଲପର ଟୁଲ ରେ ବି କାମ କରିପାରିବା, ରାଇଟ?
Yes, sir.
ତ ଏସକ୍ୟୁଏଲ ପ୍ଲସ ରେ ଆମେ ଜେନେରାଲି କରୁନୁ, କାରଣ ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ସେଇଟା ୟୁଜ ହଉନି, ଏତେ ଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସିବଲ ନୁହଁ କୋଡିଂ ଲେଖିବା ପାଇଁ। ବଟ୍ ଆମର
Yes, sir.
ଡେଭଲପର ଟୁଲ ରେ ଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସିବଲ ଅଛି। ସେମ୍ ସାର୍, ଜିତେନ ସାର୍ ସେମ୍ ଜିନିଷଟା କହୁଛନ୍ତି।
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay,
Got it, sir.
so development purpose ପାଇଁ Jupyter Notebook is the best. Okay, and basically
Okay.
ମାନେ ଯୋଉମାନେ beginners, mostly ଯୋଉମାନେ beginners, ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଏଇଟା ବେଷ୍ଟ। କାହିଁକି ନା ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ କୋଡ ଲେଖିଲେ, ଓକେ, କୋଡ ଲେଖିଲେ ତା ଦେହରେ ଗୋଟେ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଷ୍ଟୋର କଲେ, ତ ଏଭ୍ରି ଟାଇମ କଣ କରିବା ନା, ଯଦି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ କୋଡ କୁ ରନ୍ କରିବାର ଅଛି, ଆମକୁ ସବୁ କୋଡ ରନ୍ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ଯେମିତି ଆମର VS କୋଡ ରହୁଛି କି ପାଇଚାର୍ମ ରହୁଛି, ସେଥିରେ ଆମେ କଣ ଗୋଟେ ପାଇଥନ ଫାଇଲ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିବା, ଫାଇଲରେ ସବୁ ଯାକ କୋଡ ଲେଖିବା, ଦେନ୍ କିଛି ବି ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ କଲେ ଆମକୁ ସବୁ କୋଡ ରନ୍ କରିବାକୁ ପଡୁଛି। ଏଭ୍ରି ଟାଇମ ଆମକୁ ସବୁ କୋଡ, ଏମିତି ନାହିଁ କି ଆମେ କଷ୍ଟମାଇଜ କରିପାରିବା। ବଟ୍ ଜୁପିଟର ନୋଟବୁକ୍ ରେ କଣ ହଉଛି ନା, ୱି କ୍ୟାନ୍ ରନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ, ଲାଇକ୍ ଆମକୁ ରିରନ୍ କରିବାର କିଛି ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ। until ଆମେ ଯଦି କ୍ଲୋଜ କରିଦବା, ଦେନ୍ वी हैव टू ରିରନ୍। ବଟ୍ ଯେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମେ ସେଇ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ରେ ଅଛେ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଓପନ୍, ସେଇ ୟୁଆଇ ଟା ଓପନ୍ କରିଛେ, ଦେନ୍ वी डोंट हैव टू ରିରନ୍। we can do it anything, like ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ କୋଡ ଗୋଟେ ସେଲ୍ ରନ୍ କରିଦବା, and we can, that will be stored। ବେସିକାଲି ଏଟା କ୍ୟାଶ ରେ ଷ୍ଟୋର ହେଇଯାଏ, and we can access it, ଯୋଉଟା କି like for development ପାଇଁ it's big, basically এটা interactive one। okay, so I'll show you, so you don't have to worry about it। okay, I'll show you how can you do that, but meanwhile, yeah, any other doubts?
Yes, sir. It's fine, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Thank you, sir.
okay, yeah. So here you have to go, you have to install the notebook. Okay, you have to click over here, and you can install it. Once you install it, then you have to set up, like it looks like this. You can simply install this notebook. You can simply click over here, and it will ask you to install it. No, installing Jupyter, not this one. There is must be downloading Jupyter org, where it is. So Okay, so basically it is telling like installing the packages, some package and indexes. Okay, so just a second, you can directly install the Jupyter Lab. Basically, it is telling to install call for proposal conference and Jupyter Lab. No, I think instead of doing that, what you can do, okay. So what we can do is you can simply go to the anaconda.org and there you can install. Okay, there you can simply click on this Anaconda download and you have to give your email address so that you can easily free download it. Basically you have to give only your email address, then you can install it. Once you install it, there you can see all the things are available. Basically all the things are available inside it: Jupyter notebook, NumPy, scikit-learn, everything is available there. Okay, so Anaconda is also there. So basically Anaconda Navigator, you have to go to this and you can see all your options there. Okay, so because Jupyter notebook, I think it was there, but currently some update came, so that's why it is not showing. Okay, so what you can do is you can simply go to anaconda.org and here you can download. Here you have to give your email address, then you have to submit. Okay, I think you can also skip registration here. Yeah, you can skip registration, then Anaconda installer, then you can install. Okay, you can install like for no Python 3.12. Basically it gave you the 64-bit, also it gave you Miniconda X installer. Okay, so it is for 3.12 basically. So you can install it. I think 3.12 it is giving you installation 3.12 version. So you can install this one. Basically you can click over here. For Windows, for Mac it is here, for Linux this is. So you can go here and you can simply install it. You can download it, then you can install it. It's 912 MB. So you can go and install. Okay, so it will automatically show you it will give you a wizard. How it looks like, I'll show you, because it is running in background. Okay, so this is the correct method actually, because Jupyter notebook we can install, but the there is some update came, so I was not aware. So I'll just check that Jupyter notebook, how can you individually install. Basically Jupyter notebook is a separate thing, like whatever I showed you, that is a individual thing I just wanted to install. But here in Anaconda you will be seeing everything. Like you can see Spider, you can see VS Code, you can see Jupyter notebook, everything. So it is better you can install Anaconda and there itself you can launch that Jupyter notebook and use it. Okay. Basically also I have mentioned the same thing here. Okay. So download the Anaconda from the Google and install it in the system. Then select the Jupyter notebook from the option and launch. So basically that is what it is asking. I think it's cancel. Okay. It is loading the application. Okay, fine. So I'll go to this here. Then we'll talk about Python syntax. Okay. So Python syntax is basically indentation. So we need some indentation. So what is indentation? Like the formatting of writing Python code. So Python code is nothing but something. What is this? Okay. Am I audible, right? Or
ଶୁଭା ହଉଛି ତେଜା, ଶୁଭା ହଉଛି।
ठीक है, ठीक
Yes,
है,
yes,
okay.
sir. Yes.
Okay, fine. So basically, syntactically, Python is basically, you can say Python is a case sensitive language. So whatever the language, like unlike SQL, it's a case insensitive. So whatever you are declaring, whatever the column names, table names, you can write it in any case, uppercase or lowercase. But in Python, it is completely case sensitive. So you have to remember. So that's why you have to maintain some formatting, like how when you are creating your variables or creating some function name or anything, then you have to maintain that one. Okay, like you, whether it may be lowercase, it may be uppercase, but you have to check that. So that is what the Python is. So Python refers to indentation. Refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code line. So basically, what is Python? So indentation means how you are writing your code. Okay. So if I'll show you, I have installed Jupyter Notebook. I'll show you how it looks like. I'll go to here Jupyter Notebook directly. So this is the page Jupyter Notebook looks like. So you can go here, new, then you can create your Python 3. Okay, and you can write your code. So basically, if you'll see, this is the way you can write your code. This is one cell. Okay, suppose I'll write it, print up some like some the string I'll write. So this is nothing but our you know indentation. Okay, like you have to write in proper format. So basically, indentation means you have to write the Python code in a proper format. So that is what called as a indentation. So you have to maintain proper indentation. Okay, suppose like x is equal to 12, print x. Okay, so it is giving x is not defined. Why? Because x here I have declared in the uppercase, but I am printing lowercase. That's why it doesn't understand what is this. So that is why Python is a case sensitive. So you need to always take care of this case. Okay, and you have to utilize a proper format, whether it is lowercase or uppercase. That you need to look into that. Okay, you need to check when you are writing the code. That you need to check every time. Then, whether in other programming languages, indentation in code is for readability only. In indentation, is Python is very much important. Okay, so indentation means what? The proper structuring of the data code. Okay, like you have to write in proper style, like you are writing, for example, letter. You are writing your letter, right? That means you have to write first word, okay, dear sir or something. You have to write, then you have to give the comma, then after the next line you have to sometimes you can start from the beginning, or sometimes you have to start from after three spaces or four spaces. So that is what you are writing. That is a style. Okay. So this is the Python syntax. Syntax means indentation. You have to maintain. There's a proper formatting. You have to write your code. So that is our indentation. Then Python is an interpreted language. It means that as a developer, you can write .py file in the text editor, then put those files in Python interpreter to be executed. So basically, what it is saying, you can simply write your code and you can execute that one. So what we can see, it's like you can create anything in a .py file, okay, and you can execute in your system. So basically, what it is saying. So I'll just go to this Python folder, okay. So I'll just simply no. So simply it is saying like you can go simply write your code. Like suppose if you don't want to write like Jupyter notebook, you can simply other way also you can execute your code by writing everything in a text file. So you can go here text document, and you can write is what I can say, Python demo. Okay, you can give it, then you can open that, and you can write print Python. Suppose if you want to write this one, okay, I'll just try to save watch. What will I do is I'll just try to save it as a .py file, .py, and I'll just, instead of text, I'll just maintain all files. Okay, so I'll just save it. So if you'll see here Python demo, I think if I'll search, where is that file, man? Yeah, Python demo got created here. Okay, people see the Python file. This is two files. One is the text file, one is the Python file. And if I want to execute this one, okay, so what I can do is I can go to the command prompt. I can go to the command prompt cmd. Okay, I can execute it. So how to run a Python code? Python, no, I think that is inside Python. Okay, see now how to execute a .py file by using this command Python space Python file. So what it give you the output? Hello all, let's learn. This is the output. This is the output I have written. This is the print statement I have written there. Okay. So you can write it and it will give you the output. So you can simply do this way as well. And this is the way you can execute the code. Okay. So basically you might be thinking like there are multiple ways where like which one we have to use. So basically I'm telling you, this is the Jupyter notebook. So first, if in a project, what happens? So you are first developing the code. Okay. So for all the development, like, suppose some data came, you don't know what is the data. So what you can do, you have to analyze the data. You have to check what kind of columns are there and what kind of data. You have to analyze all these things. So for that purpose, you can use Jupyter notebook. But whenever you will be writing some code in higher environments, okay, so in that case what you can do is you don't have to write everything here notebooks. Okay, you can simply, what you can do, you can keep everything in a .py file, and you have to run that .py file. So like that you can run here, like that I am running here Python space Python file. Similarly you can do it. Okay, so that is the difference. So don't get confused. This one also we can do it, but this file is something different. This is only for the development purpose. Okay, this cannot be used in the production. In production you have to work on the .py file. And how to execute the .py file by using, this is the command Python space .py file. Okay, two things. Just try to remember the syntax. Okay, this one, how to execute a Python file. Someone will ask you, then you can mention Python space Python file .py file. Okay, କିଛି doubts ଅଛି ୟା ଭିତରେ between this? Okay, କିଛି ବି doubts ଅଛି
सर जो
हम्म
पीवाई फाइल जो स्टोर करथिले सेडा कोड स्पेसिफिकली कोड लोकेशन स्टोर करिया पड़िबो ना किछि
exactly no specifically location, because ଆମେ ଯଦି command prompt ଯୋଉଠି ଅଛି ନା, ओके ଆମର ଏଠି ତ ପାଇଥନ ଇନଷ୍ଟଲ ହେଇଛି। ସୋ ବେସିକାଲି ଦେଖିବ, ଏଇଟା ଦେଖ, ସି ୟୁଜର ମାଇ ନେମ୍, ସି ୟୁଜର ମାଇ ନେମ୍, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ୱାଇ ମୁଁ ଆ ଭିତରେ ପାଇଥନ ଫାଇଲଟା କ୍ରିଏଟ କଲି। ଯଦି ବି ତମେ କରିବ ଏନି ଅଲଗା ଲୋକେସନରେ କରିବ କି ଆ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଫୋଲ୍ଡର କ୍ରିଏଟ କରି କରିବ, ଦେନ୍ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ଗୋ ଟୁ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଫୋଲ୍ଡର। ଓକେ, ତମେ ତାକୁ ସିଡି କରିକି ସେଇ ପାଥକୁ ଯିବାକୁ ପଡିବ, ଦେନ୍ ଓନଲି ଇଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁଟ। ଅର ଏଲ୍ସ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ପାଇଥନ ଫାଇଲଟା ସେ ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କୋଡ୍ କରିବ, ରାଇଟ୍, where it will search. So basically ସେଟା ମାନେ no file found ଏଇ ଟାଇପର ଏରର ଆସିବ। ओके, सो सेटा ऑलवेज देख जोठी भी तमे फाइल क्रिएट करिवो, पाइथन जोठी इंस्टॉल हेतो, देन ओनली इट विल अंडरस्टैंड लाइक हां पाइथन, बिकॉज़ पाइथन से पाथ रे इंस्टॉल हेची। सो पाइथन कैन इजीली अंडरस्टैंड इट्स सिंटैक्स, लाइक या दिस इज पाइथन। ओके, आउ किछि डाउट्स अछि?
सर गुड इवनिंग सर।
हां, गुड इवनिंग, गो।
सर हमर कोडिंग रे लास्ट को एथिरे किछि सेमीकोलन किछि यूज हबन सर?
सेमिकोलन, हाँ माने सेमती किछि नाही, माने एमती मैंडेटरी किछि नाही। ओके, बट फॉर जो लूपिंग यूज करिबा त कॉलन यूज होची, जेमती हम इफ एल्स स्टेटमेंट दैट इज कॉलन यूज होची, फंक्शन क्रिएट करले भी कॉलन यूज होची। बट देयर इज नो मैंडेटरी थिंग कि हमरो एंड रे जेमती तुम सी रेम की सी प्रोग्रामिंग रे मेस्ट लिखुथिबो
हाँ
ना, एंड रे
हाँ सर।
सेमिकोलन, नो दैट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी हियर। ओके, एंड पाइथन इज वेरी वेरी यूजर फ्रेंडली लैंग्वेज। जस्ट रिमेंबर, सी रे हमें जो कोड टाको 10टा लाइन रे लिखुथिले, in python we can write it with one line or two line। okay, so very very user friendly, and more functionalities are there jota ki means it would easy for the coder to easily write your application. So that is why it is very much popular. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
सर गोटे डाउट थिला
हम्म
आपण जो कहले कि we use Jupyter for development purpose and for higher environment we use CMD command.
हम्म
That will be decided by whom, sir?
that will be decide no that command prompt ଆମେ higher environment ରେ यूज କରିବାନି। ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ ଏଟା କୋड ଟା କହିଲି ଓକେ where ever you will run command prompt basically ଆମେ ଆମ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ରେ ୟୁଜ କରୁଛେ that's why you have to but ଯେତେବେଳେ ବି ତମେ python ଫାଇଲ ଟା ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁଟ କରିବ ଏନି
Okay.
ଏନି ତମର ଯୋଉଟା ଯୋଉଠି ବି ରହୁଛି ମାନେ ସେଟା କହନ୍ତି ଟର୍ମିନାଲ ହେଇଗଲା କି ଯୋଉଠି ବି ତମେ ରନ୍ କରିବ the syntax should be this way python dot py file and you have to create dot py file ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ମାନେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ୱେଟ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଟା that should be same always। ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ
Okay.
ପାଇଥନ ଫାଇଲ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଆଣ୍ଡ ତାକୁ କଲ୍ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ବାଇ ପାଇଥନ ସ୍ପେସ୍ ଡଟ୍ ପିଆଇ ଫାଇଲ। ଓକେ ସୋ ଇଟ୍ସ
Okay,
ନଟ୍
sir.
ଲାଇକ୍ କି ଆମେ ସବୁବେଳେ କମାଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରମ୍ପ୍ଟ ୟୁ ସୁଡ୍ ନଟ୍ ୟୁଜ ବିକଜ କମାଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରମ୍ପ୍ଟ ଆମେ ତ ନିଜ ସିଷ୍ଟମରେ ୟୁଜ କରିବା ନା ସେଇଟା
Okay,
କେବେ
okay.
ୟୁଜ କରିପାରିବା। ଓକେ ଆଣ୍ଡ
Okay.
ଫର୍ ନାଉ ଆମେ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ପର୍ପଜ ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ୟୁଜ କରିବା ବେସିକାଲି
Jupyter.
ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ପର୍ପଜ ପାଇଁ ଜୁପିଟର ନୋଟବୁକ୍ ୟୁଜ କରିବା। ୱାନ୍ସ ଆମର
Okay.
ସବୁ କିଛି ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଫାଇନାଲାଇଜ ହେଲା ପରେ ଆମେ କଣ କରିବା ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ସବୁ କିଛି ଫାଇନାଲାଇଜ ହେଇଗଲା ଦେନ୍ ୱି ନୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଆମେ କୋଡ ଟା କେମିତି ଲେଖିବା କଣ କରିବା। Then once the coding is properly formatted and finalized, then ଆମେ କଣ କରିବା ନା complete input ଯେତେ ବି content ଅଛି that we can put it in a PY file and then that
Okay.
PY file ଆମେ execute କରିପାରିବା from by using this python space dot py file। okay
But development, sir, Jupyter रे ही हबो.
Jupyter ହିଁ କରିବା better। okay
Okay.
always better
Okay, sir.
କାହିଁକି ନା କଣ better that gradually ଦି ତିନିଟା କ୍ଲାସ୍ ପରେ you can understand। okay
Okay,
କଣ
fine.
ପାଇଁ ପାଉଛି yeah correct। okay
Fine,
so I
sir.
would say
Sir, sir,
ସମସ୍ତେ
sir,
ହଁ ହଁ କୁହ
sir,
କୁହ।
ଏଇଟା ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ କଲେ x equal to 12
ହୁଁ
sir print text ରେ ସେଟା କଣ ପାଇଁ error ଦେଖେଇଲା?
ଦେଖ ନା ଏକ୍ସ ଟା ଏଠି କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଲେଟର ଅଛି କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଅଛି ଏଟା ସ୍ମଲ ଅଛି ସେଥିପାଇଁ ମୁଁ କହିଲି ତମେ ଯଦି ଏସକ୍ୟୁଏଲ ପଢିଥିବ ଏସକ୍ୟୁଏଲ ରେ କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ଗୋଟେ ଏଇ ଟାଇପ ର ଷ୍ଟେଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଯେତେବେଳେ କଲମ ନେମ୍ ହେଲା ଟେବଲ ନେମ୍ ହେଲା ଯଦି ତମେ
ହଁ
ଟେବଲ
ସାର୍ ହଁ
ନେମ୍
ସାର୍
ଟା ଅପର କେସ ରେ କରୁଛ ଲୋୟର କେସ ରେ ଯଦି ଟେବଲ ନେମ୍ ଫେଚ୍ କରୁଛ ଇଟ ୱିଲ ନଟ୍ ଗିଭ୍ ୟୁ ଏନି ଏରର। ଓକେ
yes
ପାଇଥନ ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ କେସ୍ ସେନ୍ସିଟିଭ ୱାନ୍ ତ କେସ୍ ଜିନିଷଟା ଅପର କେସ୍ ହଉ ଲୋୟର କେସ୍ ହଉ ଏଇଟା ଅଲୱେଜ ମ୍ୟାଟର କରେ ପାଇଥନ ରେ। ଓକେ ସୋ
ସାର୍
ଅଲୱେଜ
ଏଇଟା ଆମ printf ଟା
ୟା
କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ରେ ଦେଲେ 12 ଦେଖେଇବ ନା?
ହଁ ଏଇଟା କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଦେଲେ 12 ଦେଖିବ ହେଲା ହେଲା
yes
କିନ୍ତୁ ସ୍ମଲ ଦେଲେ ଏରର ଆସିବ ତ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡାକ ଟିକେ ମ୍ୟାଟର କରିଥାଏ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଭ୍ୟାରିଏବଲ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିବ ଦିସ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ ଅଲୱେଜ ଇଟ ସୁଡ ବି ଟେକେନ୍ କେୟାର। ଓକେ ନହେଲେ ଏରର ନା ବହୁତ ସାରା ଆସିବ। ଓକେ
yes
ହୁଁ ଆଉ କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ସ ଅଛି? ओके आई वुड रिकमेंड लाइक समस्ते इंस्टॉल कर दियो पाइथन। ओके मु ट्राई करिवि स्लाइड टा आज शेयर करिया पई इफ आई हैव टाइम बट यू कैन जस्ट फाइंडिंग आउट पाइथन टा इंस्टॉल करो गो टू python.org डाउनलोड्स को जाओ डाउनलोड्स रे डायरेक्टली तमे इंस्टॉल करि परिबो पाइथन 3.11.9 or 3.12 also you can do but I would recommend this one। okay you should do and then go to anaconda रे कोन करिवो ना you should always install EPA। okay here
Sir,
it is।
after
हाँ tell me।
after install
हम्म
having having
ଚନ୍ଦନ ଭଏସ ଶୁଭୁନି ଜୋରସେ କୁହ।
sir after install having setup issue or not?
setup issue no setup you can do easily do it's not an issue if you have any problem you can ask me tomorrow। okay
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
you can go and download here specifically। okay you can go basically जब windows system में mostly हमें use करते हैं जब भी mac अच्छी जा रही linux अच्छी they can install 64 bit but in windows ଯାହାର ଅଛି mostly they can install this one। okay they can ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମର କିଛି ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ ଆମେ କଣ externally ଆମେ ଯେତିକି ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ development purpose ପାଇଁ we are using but ଏଠି ଆମର by default anaconda ରେ ସେ automatically 3.12 install କରିକି ହିଁ ଦଉଛି। okay so you can directly download it and install it simple thing। okay ଏତେ ବି complex ନାହିଁ ଯଦି ବି କିଛି doubts ହେଲା ତମେ try କର and I'll try to help that। okay
okay sir
ଆଉ ଆଉ କିଛି doubts ଅଛି?
हेलो।
को
हाँ सर, सर हमें जो ये जो सीएमडी प्रॉम्प्ट जो यूज करते हैं,
हम्म।
विथआउट यूजिंग सीएमडी प्रॉम्प्ट हमें यूज कर परिया
सीएमडी
माने
प्रॉम्प्ट
विथआउट यूजिंग सीएमडी प्रॉम्प्ट हमें जुपिटर यूज करिया ना, बुझी पाले एक्चुअली सेटा।
नो 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 जुपिटर रे आमे एग्जीक्यूट एमती कर परियो देखो जुपिटर रे कोन होची ना यू कैन गो डायरेक्टली एठी हमर कोन होची देखो एठी रन गोटे अछि ओके एटा देखो रन अछि तो एठी हमें एटा में रन रे क्लिक करले सेटा ऑटोमेटिकली आउटपुट देला रन रे एठी क्लिक करले एटा ऑटोमेटिकली आउट देला हमको सेठी करयार नै काहे ना सेटा देखो सेठी पई तो कहली जुपिटर नोटबुक ता जुपिटर नोटबुक डिफरेंस कोन होला सेटा मु कहली कि जुपिटर नोटबुक रे एमती गोटे जिंस जोटा कि हमको अलगा जिंस ऊपर किछि हमको ओनली कोड ऊपर फोकस करियार अछि वी हैव टू राइट आवर कोड देखो अलगा कोड कोन होची ना तुमको एटा लिखियार अछि सपोज मु कोन करबी ना प्रिंट करबी x प्लस 2 गोटे करियर अछि ओके कैपिटल x लिखिया पड़ो प्लस 10 गोटे करियर अछि देन 22 सो मु कोन करली मु आउ थरे एग्जीक्यूट करली कि एटा मु आउ थरे एग्जीक्यूट करली ना मु डायरेक्टली एठी लिखि देली किछि भी आउ गोटे भी जदी करबी प्रिंट की देखो मु खाली एटा एग्जीक्यूट करबी x 10 ओके मु एटा एग्जीक्यूट करली कि बट x ର वैल्यू तो एठी अछि बट तमे जदी पाइथन फाइल लिखिबो एवरी टाइम तमे कोन करिवो ना ए सब जाकू एग्जीक्यूट करिया पड़िबो एबे जदी भी मु एठी मु लिखिबी पाइथन फाइल रे ହେଲା ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଲେଖିବି କି x ଇଜ ଇକ୍ୱାଲ ଟୁ 12 ଲେଖିଲି ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ପୁଣି କରିବି x ଇଣ୍ଟୁ 10 ଓକେ ପୁଣି କରିବି ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ x ପ୍ଲସ 10 ଓକେ ମୁଁ ଏମିତି କେଥର ଲେଖିବାକୁ ପଡେ ଯେଥର ଲେଖିବି ସେଥର କଣ ହବ ନା ଇଏ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଏଇଟା ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ କରିବ ଏଇଟା ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ କରିବ ଏଇଟା ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ କରିବ ଦେଖ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ସେଭ୍ କରୁଛି ସେ କଣ କରିବ ନା ସି ମତେ ସବୁ ଥରକ ତିନିଟା ଲେଖା ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ କରିବ ଏବେ ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଥରେ ଲେଖିଦେଲି ଓକେ ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କରିବି ନା x -2 ओके सेव करदेले देखो मत से केतरे आउटपुट दउछ ओके चारटा आउटपुट देला राइट तो मते सब किछि दरकार नै ना मते सब किछि मते खाली गोटे आउटपुट दरकार सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज गोटे स्मॉल एग्जांपल मु देली दैट्स व्हाई मते मते खाली ए आउटपुट दरकार व्हाई आई नीड टू एग्जीक्यूट ऑल दिस कोड्स ओके এই যে লাইন্স গুডা we don't I don't need this so basically this is the one advantages of using Jupyter notebook like जोटा मते दरकार that I can run ओके आई डोंट मते मते x दरकार x रे 10 मल्टीप्लाई करबी मते सब थरा जाई कि x को डिक्लेयर करे किछि दरकार ही नहीं राइट so that is why this is for development purpose but once this is finalized you can write the same way एटा मो टेक्स्ट एडिटर देखिछि you will जो हमें तुम azure रे काम करबा कि आउ कोठी पे काम करबा सेठी हमें गोटे .py फाइल क्रिएट करिया पड़िबो ओके with proper formatting and everything then it will execute so सेटा होची डिफरेंस कि हमें एटा को हमें एथरे एग्जीक्यूट करि परिबेनी ओके एथि पे हम गोटे .py फाइल क्रिएट करिया पड़िबो एंड जदी भी हमें एथरे किछि एग्जीक्यूट करिया को ट्राई करबा देन हम कोन करिया पड़ो ना एठी गोटे टर्मिनल अछि ओके मोटा कहबी बिकॉज़ एटा तो माने ऊपर ऊपर पळेबो एठी हम टर्मिनल अछि एठी हम एग्जीक्यूट करि परिबा बेसिकली एटा कोन होची एटा होची हमर जुपिटर नोटबुक रा इनसाइड लाइक जुपिटर नोटबुक भितरे एटा सब हमर टर्मिनल अछि पावर सेल विंडोज पावर सेल बट एटा होची कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट होची हम सिस्टम रो ओके सो एटा डिफरेंस बुझियला कि नहीं ना स्टिल डाउट्स अछि
यस सर, यस सर।
ओके
तो इंटरप्रेटर जो कहतले से
हम्म
इंटरप्रेटर ता सेटा हमरो एक्चुअली हमर जो एरर जो फाइंड होचे माने एरर
हम्म
किसी हैंडलिंग करियार আছে সেইটারে बेस्ट से तारो एफिशिएंट वर्क कर देबो ना।
यस यस एग्जैक्टली सेटा होची पाइथन रो इंटरप्रेटर यूज होची ओके सो एटा होची इंटरनल थिंग बट तारा बहुत सारा एडवांटेजेस अछि ओके जेमति हमर रहला x इज इक्वल टू 2 मु करली ओके देखो डायरेक्टली आसी गला नेम एरर कोन x इज नॉट फाउंड डायरेक्टली से हमको एरर देखि दोचे कि x नॉट फाउंड सो बेसिकली एंड एटा देखो माने एटा बेसिक जिंस इजीली तुम पाई परियो देखो ए जो पॉइंट आउट करिछि माने कोन ए जगह रे मते एरर आसीछि ओके एई जगह रे मते एरर टा आसी सिमिलरली हमें दी एटा 100 लाइन ऑफ कोड लिखिबा सिमिलरली हमको एठी पॉइंट आउट करबो कि पाइथन कि हां वी आर गेटिंग एरर इन दिस लाइन सो डेफिनेटली हमको इजी होबो ना डिबग करिया पे हमको एते टाइम स्पेंड करिया को पड़िबन कि लाइन बाय लाइन कोड जाई कि डिबग करिया पे वी कैन डायरेक्टली गो टू दिस लाइन एंड वी कैन डिबग राइट ओके
Yes, sir.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
ठीक अछि तमे ट्राई करो इंस्टॉल करिया पे ओके विल सी टुमारो
Thank you, sir.
Okay.